Dr. Sharon Schutz with Trinity County News, and I'm here with our Congressman Kevin Brady. He came in this morning to basically do a ribbon cutting in a way for a new business here in town. Tell us about your trip here.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So Trinity County, this is such a great community, and this whole region, we're just blessed. We've got Courtney Steele. We're kind of celebrating that Courtney who had steel background and cosmetology background, decided to open up a new steel manufacturing, fabricating plant here in Trinity County. Hire local folks. As a woman, she wants to give people chances and opportunities. And so not only do they already have, I don't know, 15, 20 workers, they expect to expand it to over 35. And she took really kind of an auto salvage place and is refurbishing it. Has got people already fabricating, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting. She's just doing good things.
That's
and
awesome.
Having Courtney Steele and Courtney Ellis leading this, it's pretty inspiring.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know it was here until I was told about this breakfast, and I'm like, I didn't know we had a new steel place here in town.
No, it's great.
So we're going to get the news out so people will know about it. But it's still good to see you. I've interviewed one of your opponents, I guess is the right word, that's running against you, and I know you got two people this time, and so I don't know the other guy, but the woman Melissa I interviewed her, and she's a really nice lady. Good. But I also know the job you've been doing for the last several years, and I've interviewed you several times, and I've watched you the last probably 6 or 7 years. I have watched what you do, in Congress. I watched your standing behind our president. You're a staunch supporter. Oh, I value that. To me, that is, if somebody doesn't stand behind him, then they don't stand behind America.
I agree. This president's doing remarkable things for this country. He's turned the economy around. I mean, he's only been there 3 years. Yeah. And he turned the economy around. We're now the #1 most competitive, strongest economy on the planet. Right. And a lot of people, a lot of blue collar workers, not only have jobs, their paychecks are going up faster than their managers. First time we've ever seen. And I was interested. So there's been a lot of new people hired. So the #1 new hires in America are women of color. Yeah. So for the first time in America, women and those who may not have had the same opportunities we had, now we're getting jobs. And it's really exciting. But he's rebuilt the military for the first time in a decade and a half. So important.
That was a concern for a lot of people, because our military was, excuse me, they were robbing bolts and nuts off of other planes to
cannibalizing one to the other. Yeah, no, it's and my little brother just retired, 36 years in the Army, and I saw all of that through his eyes. The other thing is, look, he's standing to shut the back door of illegal immigration on the border, something that needed to be done. He has he's passed and signed some of the biggest health bills in history now to tackle opioids, so we're seeing overdoses, we're seeing lives lost. I don't care if you're in Houston or you're in Groveton. You know what I mean? We all know families who've lost loved ones there. Major accomplishment there. His effort to give those in prison a second chance. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which Courtney is hiring people that are coming out of prison as well to give them that second chance. It's really remarkable. And right now, this agreement with China and holding him accountable, first president ever, just call them on their cheating and force them to stop it, as well as passing the new agreement, Mexico and Canada, that I worked on the Ways and Means Committee. It is. It's remarkable.
I remember back in the mid-90s, I read an article in some magazine, and it said that America was going to become a service nation, that we would be losing our manufacturing and whatever. And I told my husband then, that doesn't make sense. That absolutely doesn't make sense. And of course, we know that there's a greater agenda. There's a global agenda. But we have a president now who's saying, no, that doesn't make sense.
It is. That's why we did tax reform with him.
Absolutely.
Is that everyone told us you had to give up American manufacturing. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Well, as I mentioned here in the town hall, the year before the president took office, we'd lost again another 20,000 manufacturing jobs. Since he became president, we passed tax reform. We have 500,000 new manufacturing jobs in America, like here at Courtney Steel. And now with these new trade agreements that are fairer for the American worker, you're going to see even more. So it's really exciting. He fights for America.
Yes.
People may not like every tweet he puts out. I'll tell you what, he has one red line, which is, I'm going to fight for America and make no apologies.
I've had people tell me, if he would just stop his tweeting. And I'm like, no, he's reaching America
Directly.
Without the media filter.
Yeah, he's just been pounded by the media and Democrats. This impeachment stuff is, it's unconstitutional.
Right.
It's the first partisan impeachment in American history, but it's just purely political.
Well, there's no impeachment
There's none there. There's no evidence.
He doesn't.
And we're wasting time.
And money.
Yep.
I'm curious about Nancy Pelosi's pins on the trays. Was that real gold on those pins?
Yeah, I imagine so, but how wrong... she is so and Democrats in the House are so disconnected from the real America. She said we shouldn't impeach him, and then she went all in on this sham impeachment.
Right.
No evidence, nothing there.
Right.
Then they rushed it through and gave the president no due process. I was there when President Clinton got impeached.
Right.
It was so fair. He and his attorneys could question every witness.
Right.
They called 14 of their witnesses in the House. It was and Democrats voted with us for the impeachment inquiry because it was fair. None of that happened.
Oh, I
this
know.
President
We've been watching
it's
very
just wrong.
closely.
Look, you and I have greater rights in the speeding ticket than this president did in impeachment. It's just wrong. But I tell you what, he's battling through it. The Senate will hear the House's evidence. They're going to acquit him. But here's one of the big worries is that in the House, Nancy Pelosi and others say, we can impeach him again.
I know,
so
I've heard
this
that.
could they could just keep dragging it out.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, what's getting done for the American family?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
What's getting done?
I do. I'm watching what's going on, and it's heartbreaking. It's embarrassing. I know that the people in other countries, first of all, I know there's a lot of people in other countries that are saying, you go America,
Especially on
you
this,
go.
tell you what, on this thing with China,
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you the world is cheering this president
I can
on
imagine.
because China's cheating and overpowering and, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Just on
absolutely.
top of all of them. And so, seeing some fairness, that's going to help the rest of the world too.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, the president, he is so strong and so tough. I get a chance to talk to him a lot. He calls, I call him. I got to go to the World Series with him. He invited me to the college football playoff.
Was that the night that they went out on the field?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. But all through the night in the
Being
game,
there, woo!
people would chant USA, USA, and all around us in the suite, people were cheering him. And it was really,
According
real
to the
American
mainstream media, though, they booed him.
I was there in Washington when they said that,
Yeah.
and a small group did,
Yeah.
but a whole bunch of people in that
Yeah.
baseball stadium with
Yeah.
thumbs up, taking pictures. But he's strong. I think he worries about how this affects his family. You know what I mean?
Of course.
He's a husband. He's a dad. He worries about that. But boy, he's tough. And I talked to him before I decided to run again. And because a lot of people retire and a lot of people doing things, and I said, Mr. President, at the Astros game, I told him, Mr. President, I'm staying in this fight. I want to help you get reelected for your second term, and I want to fire Nancy Pelosi, take back the House, and share on the Ways and Means Committee. We're going to do good things. He said, let's do a middle class tax cut together. So that's what we're working on right now.
Awesome.
So it's exciting.
Yeah. I was talking to my granddaughter. She went into the Navy in July. and she graduated in September. She's been in school in San Antonio. She's going to be a corpsman. Oh, she is a corpsman. She just completed her last test, and now she is a corpsman, and she's going to be in Chicago. And I was talking to her. We were watching one of his rallies on TV. We don't watch them live generally, but we watch the videos of them. And she was over just a few days before she left for boot camp, and I said, that is your commander-in-chief. And she had never sat down and watched anything to do with Trump. And she was amazed. And I told her, I said, Catherine, I'm Caitlin, sorry. I would have been grieved if one of you guys had gone into the military before he came into office. I didn't want, I discouraged it with my grandchildren. But I am encouraging. I think most of my grandchildren are going to go in the military. They already have, that direction set for their lives. And they, and I see a man in him that again, America first. Yeah. And he takes care of his he
does, and I'll tell you, he not only rebuilding, supporting the families, giving the technology and training they need, and don't send them overseas to fight with one hand behind their back. You know what I mean? All in. And I'll tell you too, the reason I'm convinced he took out Soleimani is he's got a red line, which is if you kill Americans, it's over for you. Yeah. And he means it. And Soleimani, I think if Democrats on Intelligence Committee had been doing their job instead of impeachment, the whole country would know how bad this terrorist was. He fuels terrorism all throughout that region. Yeah. He's killed and wounded thousands of American troops, including a bunch from Texas. Yeah. A bunch from Texas. And his attacks weren't slowing down; they were accelerating. And so when he attacked the embassy, coordinated that, killed a U.S. citizen, for President Trump, he's just got certain red lines you can't cross. Yeah. And I think the world knows it.
At least they're not serpentine like the other red lines in the past.
No, but those weren't much red lines.
Yeah. Anyway, we do appreciate him very much, and I want to ask you about college. Yeah. And student loans. We were talking a minute ago about how the world says you have to get this major college degree at a top university. Get yourself indebted for the rest of your life with college loans and our student loans, and yet companies are crying out for workers. This company right here is needing workers, and that's one of the biggest problems now, which wasn't that big a problem a few years ago. Finding a job, but now it's finding workers.
Yeah, we got 1 million more job openings and people looking
for. So how can that be where we get people to go to trade schools rather than and they make more money, and they don't have that big debt.
With the son, who's a welder, who went to Lone Star College, got his certificates, loves his job, very hard worker, and wouldn't do anything else. Not every person has to go to college. Right. You know what I mean? But they have to get a skill, or they just need to have a work ethic, because companies will train you. You know what I mean? If you're willing to show up and you're willing to work hard, I'm telling you, you will have a future wherever you go, because companies, both in my communities but around the country, will tell me, ask them what's the biggest problem, they go, we can't find the workers we need. But so one, we need to make sure we get people into those. Secondly, we need to encourage in high school and in college those who aren't going to go to school, a 4-year college, what great opportunities there are for them, and help train them and move them there. But then also in college, I'll tell you, this student debt scares me. There's a lot of people in Washington, including running for president, who think the answer is let people take out more debt. Young people.
That's not the answer. That's bondage.
No, and it'll hang with them the rest of their lives. And my thinking is the opposite. We need to educate people about what that degree they're getting and what they're going to make, so they know if they can pay that back or not. Right. Because the worst thing in the world is you get that degree, you work hard, you get a job, and realize, I'm going to retire before I pay this off. And the other thing is this debt. It's keeping young people from buying homes, starting families, even, I think maybe worse, delaying their families and kids and not being able to save for retirement. It really hurts them. Yeah. So, at the federal level, the answer isn't just forgive all the loans, because, if you didn't like paying off for your college, paying for your college, you're going to less like paying for someone else's college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, really, everyone should be responsible for their own decisions.
And
so I think
most of that money goes to salaries for these people like Warren Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, you know, I think, look, we got the good news is we got a lot of good colleges like in Texas and universities. We got great community colleges as well.
Oh,
and a lot of high schools are doing these dual credit.
Right.
So you got 2 years of your college already done.
My daughter did that.
Yeah. What a savings for the family
right.
when you have less or no debt. So yeah, there's a lot more we can do, but I'll tell you what, we need more workers in America. We got to change the way we do things. And what's the great news here is people who didn't think they'd ever get a chance to get a job, they're there. Yeah. Those jobs are for them. And it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you were born, what the conditions of your life started as, you got an opportunity here in America. That's why socialism is so bad, because without this free enterprise system, the ability to be able to lift yourself up, right. You know what I mean? By the bootstraps, America just won't be what it really is.
And that leads into my last question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that we have, I call them left-wing loons, because that's what they are. They're left-wing loons. And I'm not talking about Democrats. There are good Democrat men and women. But there are some weird people out there that have weird ideas. And one of those weird ideas is a 42% tax rate. Describe to me what America will look like under a 42% tax rate.
So, and that's the modest one. Democrats running for president, some of them have 90%.
Yes.
So to me, it always seemed to me socialism was when the government has a greater claim over your earnings than you do. Every hour you work, the government takes more than what you get to keep.
Right.
That's just wrong. In America, some people want to take, President Trump was the opposite. You need to keep more of what you earn. Whether you're a single mom, working parent, senior, retired. Keep more of what you have. Democrats are the opposite. They want the government of Washington, D.C. to have greater control over your hard work than you do. And it's wrong. 42% or 50%, some have suggested 90% tax.
Yeah.
What that means, people won't work as much. Because why? The government's getting it. They won't be able to live their dream, for their kids, because the government's going to tell them what that is. And then the economy is going to tank. Because if we don't reward people for hard work, for Courtney starting a business here in Trinity County, if we don't reward you for that new idea where you work years and years and years to create that new idea for your phone or for whatever it is, and then they create tens of thousands of new jobs in America. We lose that when those taxes go up. And so that's why on Ways and Means, both the chairman, I lowered taxes right now as a top Republican. My fight is to stop those tax increases. Right. But I'll tell you too, by contrast, when we fire Nancy Pelosi, take back the House, President and I are going to keep working on letting people and small businesses keep more of what you earn. Well, that's good.
That is good, because I know that you go from taking our money to the point where I'm not going to go to work today if I don't make any money, to the point where somebody's got to do the job, so let's go on into communism and we'll force labor.
You know what, America,
I'm serious. That's where it goes.
And we are going to stop any of that foolishness. But it all depends on this election.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We all
this is probably the greatest election.
It really is.
Our
People have said that in
history.
the past. I agree, Sharon. It has never been more important.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I really appreciate you as well. You cover so many events that are important to our community. You're willing to visit with folks about, what is their vision? Why are they running? What difference can you make? And and all your questions are thoughtful, so thank you.
Thank you. What's happening with healthcare? I know that's a big issue. Yeah,
right now our biggest focus in Congress, in fact my number one priority besides the economy and these trade agreements is healthcare. So 2 areas. One is ending surprise medical bills. That's where, you know what I mean, whether you go in the emergency room or yes you have, we all have. Or you schedule a procedure and you know what the insurance company is going to cover and what you're supposed to pay, then you get a bill for $1, $3, $5, $10,000 afterward. you didn't know anything about.
Right.
It's time to end that.
Yes.
Texas legislature's done a good job for the Texas plans, but most of us get our plans at work, you know, or through the company or the organization. That's all done out of Washington. So right now I'm working with the chairman, Richie Neal, chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, on a bill to end surprise medical bills. You should never be taken advantage of when you go to the emergency room.
Oh, that's awesome.
And if you have a scheduled procedure, you ought to be given an honest, accurate bill up front.
Right.
So there's no more surprise medical bills. And so if we can get past this impeachment foolishness, I feel we can get that done. The second thing is drug prices. You know, look, for a lot of Americans, because we have new drugs coming in and generics, medicines, for many Americans, it's become a little more affordable. But for a lot, if you got that medicine that's really expensive, or the combination of them, you're in trouble, and you can't afford it. And so I and Congressman Greg Walden from Oregon and Virginia Fox, Representative Virginia Fox, are leading the Republican effort in the House to lower drug prices.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we're not doing the Nancy Pelosi approach. I mean, some people, including I think one of the candidates in our race, really likes Nancy Pelosi's drug bill. But I'll tell you what, you're turning control over to Washington.
Right.
And for this, which is always scary, the government's going to negotiate, which they don't really negotiate. Bottom line is, they will kill life-saving cures. And if you have a family member with Alzheimer's, with diabetes, cancers, ALS, Parkinson's, Nancy Pelosi's drug bill is dangerous.
Yeah.
Our drug pricing bill lowers drug prices, but accelerates life-saving medicines, which is what we need to do.
One of the things that I love that the president did was make it where, I forgot the name of it, where you can try drugs that aren't accepted on the market yet, and it gives people a chance to, because other countries are using some of these drugs and they're working.
Right to try.
Exactly.
Right to try,
I love
which
that.
is when there's an experimental medicine, it's not been approved yet. Should you be given the chance to say, let me try this for my cancer?
You're gonna die anyway.
I'm terminal. My chances are gone.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. I will tell you, I've met here in Texas and around the country people who came to Washington to ask for that right for their family or for themselves. And again, this president fought hard for that. So again, if Nancy Pelosi will stop wasting America's time on impeachment, we ought to be focusing on things that matter.
Right.
The other point I think we make is the president's, because he is so all in for freedom, you know what I mean, and all for our country. You're seeing around the world others who want that same freedom. You know what I mean? Whether it is in China, whether it is in Hong Kong,
it's everywhere.
Whether it's in Europe and the UK, people realize they don't have to settle for what others told them they had to settle for. That with freedom and an opportunity to rise themselves, like this president in America stands for, they can have freedom and opportunity. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. I've seen it. You see on social media. You don't see a lot in the mainstream media that what's going on outside of the United States. I read some publications from other countries and whatever, and kind of find out. I find out more what's going on in America outside America than I do inside. But you see these people all over the globe that are raising up the yellow vests, all these different movements, and it's based on what's going on here. And we so appreciate what you guys are doing.
Look, this freedom for our young people, this is what we're fighting for. Yes. You and I will figure a way through our lives. But for our kids and grandkids, they need that freedom.
Okay,